Hello friends, we are all the students of English language and literature. And as the students of English language, we have been using English dictionary right from our school days, from our college days. So it is mandatory, it is very important for all of us to know how this English dictionary has come into existence. So friends, in this video today I am going to discuss the origin and development of English dictionary. As you can see these pictures, we have been using Oxford English Dictionary, or some of us are using Merriam-Webster English Dictionary, or sometimes we are using Oxford Thesaurus of English, right? So dictionaries and thesaurus, we have been using this to enrich our knowledge about the words, their spellings, their pronunciation, their meanings, their origin, and so on. But friends, when we are discussing about the origin of English dictionary, then you have to understand the whole process of this origin in three different sections, and they are three different stages, and they are glossaries, etymologies, and then dictionaries. Friends, the term dictionary actually was first invented by an Englishman named John of Garland in the 13th century. To be precise, he used this word dictionary in 1220. So it is a very old term, right? And Mr. Garland, he had written a book named Dictionarius to help with Latin diction, because during the 13th century, Latin was a language of scholars. Latin was the language of the learned people, and the common man did not know much of this language, Latin language, and that's why there was a need to clarify or to simplify some of the Latin phrases and words, and that job was done by John of Garland during the 13th century. But the actual process of the origin of English dictionary, can be traced back in the early modern English period, that means during the 15th, 16th, and 17th century. As I have discussed in one of my previous videos on the origin of English language, we discussed that English, the whole history of English language is divided into three or four periods. Old English, or known, which is also known as Anglo-Saxon English period. Okay, second period is the Middle English, and third period is the modern English. This modern English again is divided into two broad periods: early modern English period and late modern English period. Early modern English period begins from 15th century and continues till 18th century. So, when we are discussing the origin of English dictionary, remember that the English dictionary came into existence during this early modern English period from 15th century to 18th century. Okay. Now this period, if you come to the 16th century in England, it was a period of great change. Renaissance movement had already arrived in England, and hundreds of Latin books or Greek books were translated into English. Because they were translated from Greek into English, from Latin into English, that's the reason why what happened, that in English language some new words from Latin, some new words from Greek started entering. Okay, and as a result, these were the difficult words for the common men and women in the British society, and that's why a need to write a dictionary emerged during the 16th century. The number of words available to the speakers of English society, in fact, more than doubled between this during this 150 years, starting from 1500 to 1650. During this 150 years, the number of words which were already there, which were spoken by the common man and women in the British society, they almost doubled. Why? Because of these translations which were done by the scholars of the Renaissance, the scholars of the Elizabethan period. Not only this, you must have studied about Vasco da Gama, or you must have studied about Columbus, who went to far off countries. They went to America, they came to India and all. So a spirit of adventure, traveling and all, business, trade and developed, and all such things developed in England. And as a result of that, those who visited the different parts of the world, they came back with some new words from other languages of the world. And this is how new influences on English language occurred, during this 16th and 17th century. And that is the reason why there was a need, to write some dictionary or a kind of a book which simplifies these difficult words from other languages, right? And the beginning was in fact done in the form of glossaries. So as I told you in the beginning of this video, the whole development of dictionaries can be traced in three different stages. Number one, the first stage was the stage of glossaries, second was that of etymologies, and the third was that of dictionaries. We begin with glossaries. Okay. Now during the Middle Ages, some scholars used to make some collections of hard words and their meanings. Okay. These collections of hard words and meanings, they were known as glossaries, and such glossaries were attempted during the Middle Ages and also during the 16th century. The word gloss, Gloss, it comes from Latin language, and in Latin, gloss means rare words which need special explanation. Okay, that's why this list of words which are having some difficult words, okay, they were known as glossaries. During the 16th century, there were some scholars who started working seriously on these glossaries. They started writing glossaries. Some of them, let me name a few of them. Thomas Cooper, he published Thesaurus Lingua in 1565, which consisted a number of difficult words. Okay, so the name of Thomas Cooper is remembered by the scholars when we are studying the history and origin of English dictionary. Next was Robert Cowdray. He published a table of alphabetical English words. For the first time, he arranged the words in alphabetical order, as you can see in today's dictionary, right? And that was done by him in 1604. Then later on, towards the second half of the 17th century, to be precise, in 1658, Edward Phillips, he came up with a new glossary, which was entitled New World of English Words. So these were all the glossaries which consisted some difficult words and their explanations, and these words were arranged in the alphabetical orders. But these glossaries were not the dictionaries, they were in the raw form. The next stage in the development of dictionaries is etymologies. Etymology means to study the words, their origin, their history and all. These etymologies during the 17th century, there were some efforts made to give proper form and structure to the incomplete or raw kind of glossaries which were written during the 16th century, right? And Skinner is very important lexicographer who published Etymologicon Lingua Anglican in 1607. Francis Junius, he published Etymologicon Anglicanum in 1677. These etymologies contained broader meanings in comparison to the previous glossaries, right? So etymology provided us with some development in the glossaries. So they had some broader meanings of the words. Not only this, they also contained some history of the words, their origin, from which language these words come, their value and their use in the common day-to-day life. So these etymologies were kind of advanced form of glossaries during the 17th century. But the actual dictionary that we are reading today came into existence during the 18th century. The greatest landmark in the development of lexicography. Lexicography means the science of studying words, their origin, their history, their use, their meanings, their pronunciation and all. That is known as lexicography. So the greatest development in the field of lexicography was done by Dr. Samuel Johnson, an important critic and lexicographer of English language and literature. He published Dictionary of English Language in 1755. And friends, this in fact is considered as the first dictionary in the truest sense of the word. So remember this name, Dr. Samuel Johnson. Remember the date 1755 and remember the title Dictionary of English Language, the first dictionary of English language. This dictionary remained the standard for over 150 years and is considered by many people as the first modern dictionary of English language. Now this happened in England. The same kind of efforts were being done by the American scholars in America, right? So that's why in today's times, in modern world, we are having two major dictionaries. One is the Oxford Dictionary. This Oxford Dictionary actually comes from Dr. Samuel Johnson, and another is the Webster's Dictionary. This Webster's Dictionary comes from America. So let's talk about that development which took place in America. In America, there was a lexicographer named Noah Webster. Noah Webster. Webster, he tried to standardize American speech. Why? because Americans in different parts of the country, they were using different languages, right? They spelled differently, they pronounced the same words differently, and they used the same English language in different manners. It is just like in India. In India, if you ask a man who is living in Lucknow to speak a word, and if you ask a man living in Kerala to speak the same word, they will speak the same word in different manners. Yes or no? Right? So, their pronunciation is changed, their use is changed, their spellings are also changed, and the same thing happened in America also. And Noah Webster's main goal was to bring a resolution to this problem, solution to this problem, right? And that's why he published Blue Backed Speller. This was the title given to the book which he published. In fact, these are the two achievements. Number one, Blue Backed Speller, in which 100 million copies of this book were sold in America. It became so popular, that Americans learned the use of English language. They started learning spelling and pronunciation and all that from this particular book. And before that, before the publication of this Blue Backed Speller, people were using English language phonetically. Phonetically means they used to write English language as they spoke. But in English language, there is a difference between spoken and written form. Next, he published a comparious dictionary of English language in 1806, and this was considered as the first English dictionary in America, right? It consisted of 30,000 words, more than 13,000 words, which were used in different parts of America by the people, right? So, this is Noah Webster. Remember this date, 1806, and remember the title, A Comparious Dictionary of English Language, which consists more than 30,000 words. That was the first dictionary in America. Later on, after a year, in 1807, Webster began compiling, collecting an expanded and fully comprehensive dictionary. The previous version published in 1806, is now advanced version, published as an advanced version in 1807, and the title of that advanced version of the first dictionary of America was An American Dictionary of the English Language, okay, and that was later on published in 1828, and at that time Noah Webster was about 70 years old. Before leaving, I want to give you some facts. Did you know about these facts? That Noah Webster was such a great scholar, such a great lexicographer, that in order to collect different words from different languages which are existing in English language, he learned so many languages. He learned more than 25 languages, which include Gadic language, German, Greek, Latin, Italian, Spanish, French, Dutch, Welsh, Russian, Hebrew, Arabic, Persian, and Sanskrit, and so many other languages, right? So you can imagine the brilliance of this man, Noah Webster. Not only this, in America, 16th October is declared as a public holiday in honor of the birth anniversary of Noah Webster. And not only this, 18th January is also considered as a public holiday in America, to honor Peter Roget, for his contribution in the field of thesaurus, right? So, as the students of language, we must have some knowledge about these facts. So, friends, let's conclude the whole discussion that the origin and the development of dictionary begins in English. It begins from 16th century, during which some glossaries in raw form, in incomplete form, the least collected, the collection of difficult words were done, and they were known as glossaries during 16th century. If you come to 17th century, you have some advanced form of glossaries, and they were known as etymologies. And if you come to 18th century, first dictionary was written by Dr. Samuel Johnson in 1755 and by Noah Webster in America in 1806, 1807 and 1828. Okay, so these are this is how English dictionary has come into existence. Friends, here I end up this video. If you have any doubts, questions or queries, do write to me in the comment section of this channel, and don't forget to subscribe this channel for more such video lectures on English language and literature. Thank you very much.